Something I want to talk about is why accounting firms often have difficulty reaching their full potential. Why do some quickly grow and really grow in a very specific way? And then others put in a lot of effort, energy, but just don't get the results that they deserve based on the amount of time and effort that they're putting into things. And imagine, stretch with me, imagine receiving directions to a friend's house. You're scheduled to go to a friend's house, next community, never been there. And all that you're told is that it's somewhere in the city, it's going to be a tall building, and I live in about the middle of the building down the hall. And that's all that you have. Well, with any luck, and after a lot of frustration, you might reach that friend's destination and you might never find out where her apartment actually is and finally call it quits and go home. Whereas, say you're going to go to the same friend and she gives you the exact street address, all the details you need, including the apartment number, and you go ahead and put that into your GPS. Your GPS is going to give you maybe a whole layout, and then it's going to tell you which direction to go in first, what to do next, when to get off the highway, when to make a right turn, and where to park because you've reached your destination. So much easier. So how does that GPS apply to your firm? Well, I see it as the difference between having organic growth, which is a little messy. You say yes to requests as they come in, and then very strategic growth where you know what it is that you want to achieve. You have that destination, the exact coordinates to put into the GPS, and you're going to be able to take some things that are going to help you to achieve it as quickly as possible. It's focused attention. And that's something to think about, is that when firms kind of look like they're growing, but not really growing in the way that they want, and then it finds that they're overwhelmed, there's burnout, they're like in too many places at too many different times, they're just scattered all over the place, then it's probably a symptom of organic growth where your clients are running your firm and showing you how to grow instead of you taking charge because you know the exact coordinates of the destination where you want your firm to go. And you actually know the routes, and maybe sometimes there's a detour. And then you have to take a little bit of a different route or change course a little bit, but you know exactly where it is that you want to go. And that is something that I believe is so important to having your firm grow in the way that you want, getting the results that you want better and faster than you expected, is starting with the end in mind. It is a concept called reverse engineering, and something that I strongly encourage you to give a try if you've never done it before. So with reverse engineering, you know exactly what it is you want to achieve, just like the address of your friend in the next community that you've never been to. You know those exact coordinates of what you want your firm to look like. And the more specific, the better. And then you start working backwards from where you want to be to where you are now. So I'm going to give you some steps to be able to start reverse engineering, because I want the next 12 months to be your best year ever. And the way to be able to do that is to really take charge instead of letting your firm take charge of you. So the very first thing that we need to figure out is your destination. This is where you're reverse engineering your plan. You're starting with the end goal of what it is you want to achieve. And it's very clear and compelling and really resonates with you. It has meaning for you. And then after you do that, step number 2 is going to be stretch yourself, where I want you to not go for the sure thing. I want you to go for something that's going to actually take some effort and focus attention. But you know that if you had that effort and focus attention, you could go ahead and reach that particular destination. So it will stretch your current capabilities. And what I would say is, if you're not sure what it is that you want to achieve that feels like enough of a stretch for you, then aim for about 30% more than what you currently have. That is something to think about. Maybe 30% more is a good way to start moving forward in this direction towards what you finally want to achieve. And then now that you know what it is that you want to achieve, then create milestones. And not from here to what you want to achieve. But once again, reverse engineering, where you're starting with the end in mind. Go all the way to the back, let's say 12 months out, and then start working towards where you are now. That would be having some milestones for each quarter of the year. As we're getting closer and we're in this quarter, maybe break it down to monthly milestones. It could even be weekly or daily milestones. So that is something to think about, is you're starting to really start with that big picture, and then we are narrowing it down. And eventually you will have exactly what you ought to be focusing on right here and now. The other thing to look at is, after we know what your milestones are and what you want to achieve, then resources. Consider what are the things you need in place to be able to achieve those things that are aspirational for you. And things that you might want to have in place are people, places, and processes. Who are the people that are going to really be right on board? They're there to support you. They believe in what you want to achieve. Those are the people you want to surround themselves with, whether it is personally in your community as well as professionally. And then places, where do you show up? Is it maybe looking at where your office is or how you're running your business? Is it possibly what you're doing in the community? Do you feel that you're showing up in too many places and that we need to maybe dial it in, because now we're very focused on what we want to achieve? And then the last thing is the processes, because systems give you freedom. I fully believe that. And what are the things that need to be in place for you to be more effective at what you're doing, as well as improving efficiencies? So that's something to think about, is the resources, and that's people, places, and processes. And then the last one is strengths-based, because as a business owner, especially in the beginning, you're wearing all the hats. You're doing the things you absolutely love doing, and you're doing some of the things that you wish would just go away. You couldn't finish doing that fast enough, or maybe you even avoid doing that because it's uncomfortable or it intimidates you in some way. So look at the things that you're doing in your business, and maybe some of them have to do with services you're offering. So what are the things that are aligned with your strengths? And one of the things that maybe are weak points, or you think that you ought to be doing it, or somebody asks you to do it, but you know it's not really making that much of a difference, and it might not be a very efficient use of your time or effective in helping you actually achieve what you want to achieve. So those are 5 steps to begin making 2024 your best year ever. Is get really dialed in about the destination. It could be a year-end destination. It could be even beyond that, of what does your dream firm look like. And then stretch yourself. If you're not sure what it is you ought to be doing, then go for 30% more than what you think it ought to be. Come in with some milestones so that you have smaller wins in between. It doesn't seem so far off in the distance, but you have some wins that are closer and you're able to achieve. So it is reinforcing the direction that you're going in. Resources, the people, place, and things that are there to actually support you and build you up. And then looking at where the strengths are for you and your firm, what you offer, what you're doing, who you serve, and really looking and being intentional about doing more of that. And the things that just aren't a right fit, or you have been tolerating for much too long, then we need to look at how to be able to eliminate those things in a very professional way. So if this appeals to you, you want to make 2024 your best year ever, then check out my upcoming virtual strategic planning retreat. This is where we all get it dialed in. It's rolling up our sleeves, doing the work together, getting some insights that you would never think of on your own, or the directions to be able to start taking this idea and actually implementing to make it happen. Because you deserve to have a firm that supports your lifestyle instead of one that subtracts from your quality of life. And I just want to say the virtual strategic planning retreat is an opportunity to step away from working in your business, doing the operational things, taking care of your client needs, and working on your business. So you're working on something that's going to help you actually achieve what your full potential is for your firm, how to be able to work at a higher quality level for your services, and really have your dream firm. So I just want to say, success occurs when you take charge of your firm instead of having your firm take charge of you. If that's something you're ready to do this next year, then join me at the virtual strategic planning retreat. All the details are at businesssuccesssolution.com/retreat. Look forward to having conversations, hearing what you have going on, what you are doing to put yourself squarely on the path to having your dream firm. Loren Fogelman, showing accounting firm owners how to double their income, working half the time.